Oh my goodness. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hold on. My settings. I'm just trying to see where my audio is. MacBook Pro built-in. Okay, so it should be coming through. Oh, great. All right. So apparently my Bluetooth had picked up Bluetooth speaker had picked up my mic, and so I'll start all over again. I am Dr. Catherine Toomer. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I'm a family medicine and community health physician, and I'm the founder of Total Weight Care Institute. And what Total Weight Care Institute is a place where I help people have successful weight health practices. Now, if it's a patient, those successful weight health practices are things that get them healthy and make them well. So it's a health and wellness process. If it's a weight health practice and you're a clinician or a practitioner, physician, then it is to create a successful weight health as a practice or within your practice so that you can serve and earn with confidence. And um, so I've been sitting here talking all this time and telling everybody about me, and no one could hear me. So, and so what I wanted to talk about today is about being healthy, because one of the reasons that I have a lot of people who come to me as the founder also of health, wellness, and weight loss centers is they ask for my help to get healthy. And a lot of times they tie that health into their weight. And it's true that our weight is a symptom of certain things, and it's always important to look for a cause of why people gain and lose weight. If you're losing weight and you don't want to, or you're gaining weight and you don't want to, there's always a biopsychosocial reason. And what I do is I look for those reasons. And so when trying to get someone healthy, it can be very daunting, especially if you've tried it before and you've tried all these things that you thought were to get you healthy, and then nothing seemed to work. And usually it's because there's some part of the biopsychosocial process that's not being addressed and is derailing the other parts. But when it comes to being healthy, one, there is no such place as healthy. It's an ongoing process. There is no destination of healthy. Healthy is the journey. Healthy is, the journey is the destination, so they say. So it's ongoing, and it's really more of practices that you do, things that make you feel a certain way, things that make you help your body function in the way that it's supposed to. That's really the most important thing, and that's really what health is. Just a feeling of well-being, psychologically, socially, and physically, and biologically or physiologically. And there's very few things that really you can do to just be healthy. Basic stuff. And of course, there's a lot of stuff out there. Everybody talks about all these different vitamins and minerals and this and that you're supposed to take, and how they help your heart and how they don't. It's too overwhelming. I mean, there's no way we can keep track of everything. So I'm just going to give you some basic things that you can do starting right now that will make the difference in your feeling of well-being. And number one, and this is the most common one that I see, is water. Being hydrated. You'd be surprised how much dehydration affects our health. Dehydration can shut your kidneys down, and so they don't work properly. Dehydration means that your blood volume is lower than what it should be. Our blood is what transports oxygen around our body. It's what it goes to our lungs, grabs the oxygen and spreads it around. So if you're dehydrated, that means there's less volume to take oxygen and spread it, or it's harder for that blood to get to places because, like anything, when you remove the water, it gets thicker. And so thick blood does not move very well. And so dehydration is not your friend. The other thing that dehydration does is it makes you tired. Every cell in our body depends on its structure from water. We are over 70% water. And so when we don't have enough of it, everything in our body gets affected. Every part of our body gets affected. And so drinking enough water helps your cells. The other thing, though, that water does is when you're dehydrated, your body can't always tell the difference between dehydration and hunger. And so it'll make you feel hungry, or it gets registered in your brain as hunger when actually it's dehydration. So hydration is extremely important. And it's important, and this is the key. It doesn't have to be water. Now, ultimately, water is the best thing to hydrate with, but early on, when you're trying to get into your process, it's more important that you get fluids in rather than it being absolutely water. The only part of that that's really important is to avoid sugar in that process. So if you can get fluid in your body that is not a sugary drink of any kind, that's still better than nothing. It doesn't have to be water. You're not failing if you don't drink all water all day long. Get hydrated. And the way you'll know if you're hydrated and well hydrated is by the color of your urine. If you're not on any type of diuretic or a water pill, as some people call it, then your urine will change color. If it's dark yellow, you're dehydrated. If it's orange, you're seriously dehydrated. If it's brown, call your doctor right away, because that means your kidneys are shutting down. If you see blood, like redness in your urine, that's another reason to call your doctor, because that also means that your kidneys are not only are they shutting down, they're also losing cellular structure, and so you don't want red urine. There can be other reasons that urine is red, but I'm not going to get into all of that. Anyway, blood in your urine means go to your doctor. Okay, regardless of the reason. Um, but is as you drink more and as you get more hydrated, your urine will start getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. So when it's light yellow or clear like water, then you know you are hydrated. Yes, it makes you have to go to the bathroom a lot. Many of us who are in fields where you can't just leave your post, you can't just it's hard, to just go to the bathroom whenever you feel like it. I know it's difficult then, but that's when you try to drink as much as you can when you can. And also recognize that every day is a different day when it comes to hydration. It does not carry over. And so it has to be done every day. So, number one is hydration, getting enough water, getting enough fluids. Number two, believe it or not, if you're in a health and wellness and even a weight loss process, getting enough calories. If you do not eat enough calories, your body shuts down. Your brain is designed to keep us alive. It does everything it can to keep us alive. And the two things that evolutionarily or instinctually that happen that cannot keep us alive or unalive us is being eaten or starving. So those are the two things that our brain is really hyper vigilant and wired to watch for. And so um anytime we start losing weight or we start not eating enough calories, our brain immediately starts to shut down our metabolism, hoping that we won't starve in the process. And so I say it like this. If you have a bank account, say, and you know that every single day someone's going to deposit $1,000 into that bank account, are you more likely to save the thousand or spend it? If you know you're going to get another thousand tomorrow, you're like, okay, I can spend it on something today. But what if you got $1,000 and you didn't know when you're going to get your next thousand? and some random time you got another 1,000 and you didn't know, but you know that that 1,000 you need to pay utilities, you need to buy food, you're more likely to hold on to it in case you need it for something important. That's exactly what our body does when we undereat. It holds on to calories because it's our body, our brain worries that we're going to starve. And so it tries to store as much as it can, as efficiently as it can, and that's as fat for later. So eating regularly, getting enough calories will keep your metabolism up and it will help in the long run. And that actually is really important also because it takes about 1,200 calories to get all the nutrients you need in your diet, all the macro and micronutrients, all the things in your body that makes all your cells work the way they're supposed to. Now with food, now our food is not as nutritious as it used to be because our nutrients come from the soil and our soil has been stripped so badly that our food's not giving us the nutrients it used to. So taking a multivitamin is actually beneficial in situations like that because our food just isn't the same unless you're living somewhere outside of the United States or outside of Europe. Now there are places in the world where food still has its nutritional value. The United States is just not one of them, unfortunately. So drinking enough water, eating enough calories. The third is getting enough protein. Eating protein with every snack and every meal ensures that you're getting the building blocks for your muscle. Our muscle is an organ that helps us in multiple ways. One, our muscle is for maintaining our metabolism. Two, it helps us function. Health, part of our health is our body being able to do the things that we need it to do when we need it to do it. And if our muscle is weak or if our body can't make enough muscle, then we can't it affects our health. So what happens when you don't eat enough protein is that your body goes after your muscle for that protein. When you eat meat, what you're eating is the muscle of an animal. We are animals. Our muscle is the same thing. So when we eat protein, that's where it goes. It goes to maintain our muscle. Now, our muscle not only helps with our metabolism, and it not only helps with our function and our movements, but it also helps with our balance. When you're young, you don't really think about it much. You just want, you can do all the things that you need to do. But as you get older, having strong muscles prevent falls, and falls are really one of the most dangerous things to happen when we get older and because if we fall and break a hip, on average, I can't remember the actual statistics, but it's relatively high that if someone breaks their hip when they are over 65, they're more likely to die within 6 months of that break. So, because usually what that means is whatever health processes that needed to happen to prevent the fall and to protect that bone didn't happen. And so the combination, the culmination of that really is death. And ultimately, death is the opposite of health. So, um, maintaining muscle, building muscle, and it doesn't have to be a lot. It can just be a few squats every day, doing a planks every day, doing some push-ups. If you do push-up, planks, and squats every single day, you will tone your body from head to toe. And it can be modified. And you can go on YouTube, look at all the different ways you can do those. But if you don't have to have a gym, you don't have to have weights, you don't even have to have any equipment. Push-ups, planks, squats, and you've got it. If you can do it now, do it. If you can't because of some mobility issue or because you have some low back or joint pain, there are ways you can do the same exercises sitting down and in a chair. So we've got hydration, we've got calories, we've got get enough protein. And then the fourth one is sleep. We underestimate the amount of sleep we need and how important it is for our health. Our body produces certain hormones during sleep that help with our appetite, that help with restoring any damage throughout the day. And so getting enough sleep, and it's very difficult, I know, to go from 0 or 3 or 4 hours, then going to trying to get 8 hours, but it should be 8 or more hours. And the ways to do that are to provide an environment that's conducive to sleep. And mainly removing electronics, because electronics flicker, lights stimulate your brain. This is the time when you're trying to wind down. So having electronics around really does the opposite of what you want. So that's television, phones, tablets. Even reading sometimes on a tablet at night can do it because the light. So if you do it at low light, that's better, but better to use a soft light as much as possible. And so hydration, calories, protein, and sleep. And the biggest one that is overlooked and probably affects our health more than anything else is stress management. Stress is the one thing that will derail every single other health process that we do. It will create hormones that will derail our body's ability to pull nutrients out of food. It will affect our sleep because our cortisol levels will spike in the middle of the night and wake us up. It makes your small vessels tighten. So every single organ in your body gets affected because it's not getting enough blood, because the stress hormones that are kind of going through your body are pretty much shutting down. It is part of our fight and flight mechanism. It's what our brain does to keep us from being eaten. Unfortunately, though, if it keeps happening and it's chronic, it is a problem. It's supposed to happen in short bursts, not all the time. So when you have chronic stress, everything, every part of your body, your brain, your moods, your insulin, your blood sugar, everything gets affected. And I'll go into more detail at another time because that in and of itself is one of my talks that I do. And I can talk for an hour just on stress and what it does to your health. And so it's really important. But the ways you can reduce stress, though, there are simple ways of doing it. Yoga breathing is probably the easiest, most effective because you can do it anywhere at any time. And if you're curious about how that's done, I'll give you a quick way of thinking of it, and then you can go on YouTube and look for it and how it's done. But it's 4 counts breathing in, 7 counts holding your breath, then 8 counts slowly letting that breath out. If you keep doing that repeatedly, you will start to relax. What happens also is our brain loves routine. So if you do that over and over and over again, it doesn't take as much to get that relaxation. So over time, what used to take 10 breaths now can be done in one. And so just doing something every day routinely. And it's the reason why we huff when we're like, that's part of it. That is a deep breath mechanism that helps activate our vagus nerve. That's the nerve that kind of runs down to our diaphragm. But that's the nerve that actually is the opposite of what happens in our body during stress. It calms us. It's the rest and restore nerve. And so activating it through different mechanisms, yoga, deep breathing, meditation, um, telling yourself affirmations, writing gratitude, having a gratitude journal at the end of the day and just writing things down to release some of that stress. Normally, what we do though, we tend to scream and yell and get tense, and that actually does the opposite. The other thing though to reduce stress is time management. When you rush around, our body can't tell the difference between rushing and being chased. So if you rush around in the mornings and you rush around through the day and you rush around doing other things, your brain just registers as that you're about to get eaten. So I'm just going to keep your stress hormones high because your muscles might need to be used to sprint, or your brain may need to be used to stay sharp, and you become hyper vigilant, and it just really just sets off a whole cascade of events. Like I said, I could talk about this for an hour. And so um yeah, so and I'm looking at all the comments as we're going through, and I appreciate you all chiming in. Uh, Dr. Unachukwu and Dr. Gilliard are here, and Chris is always here every week, and I really appreciate it. And there was a couple, but they've scrolled up, and I've missed the names, and I apologize. But so just to reiterate everything, hydration. It doesn't have to be water. That's ultimately what you want to get to, but it can be anything. Just get hydrated. And as long as it's not sugar in it, it's fine. Juice is also, now remember, juice is sugar with vitamins attached. So it can't be fruit juice either. So hydration, watch your urine, let it get clear. That's what you want ultimately. The second is eating enough protein. Or eating enough calories was the second one. Making sure you get all the calories you need, because our body, if it thinks we're starving, will shut us down. The third is making sure you get enough protein so your body will not go after muscle, the one organ in your muscle that really helps your metabolism and keeps you safe and keeps you stable and keeps you from falling. So you want to make sure you eat enough protein in every meal, in every snack. That way you don't have to think about it. If you just know it's there, then you know you're going to get enough. Then the other is getting enough sleep. Sleep is really important. And so removing electronics, trying to create a routine so that your body associates certain things with falling asleep. And so if you do that in the evening, if you have an evening routine, our brain loves routines, then that will help. And then the other is stress. Always, always, always try to reduce your stress. Low impact rhythmic exercise, meditation, yoga, Pilates, something that you can, deep yoga breathing, things that you can do anywhere. And then when you have more time that you can dedicate to a bigger activity, then you can do that. But something every single day. And that includes time management. So you're not rushing around. So again, I am Dr. Catherine Toomer. I'm the founder of Total Weight Care Institute. And if anything I've said today just sort of makes sense, or if you have questions, you can put it in the comments after this. You can contact me on my website at drtoomer.com. That's drtoomer.com. If you're a patient and you want help and you just want to figure out if there's a way that I can help you, contact me. If you're a clinician and you want to incorporate comprehensive and compassionate weight care services as a practice or in your practice so that you can earn and serve with confidence, also send me a message through my website, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you and see what we can do to get you from point A to point B, especially, and have the life and the health that you want. Now, there is one point I want to bring up, and I just realized there's a psychosocial part of this process. Always make sure that your mental health is addressed. So if you feel that your health process is being derailed by depression or anxiety or some other mental illness, get tested, get checked, because no matter what else you do, if you're unable to filter information through a clear filter, then it's really important, because any, like I said at the beginning, biopsychosocial, if any one of those things are not in order, it will derail the others. So again, I'm Dr. Catherine Toomer, and thank you for joining me. And next time I'm going to give myself a little more time, because I could keep going for another 30 minutes, to be honest. But good night. Thank you. And I'll see you next Tuesday. Oop, that was my alarm to tell me I was done. Good night.